Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's tutorial. And in today's tutorial I'll be sharing with you guys how I made this two-piece outfit that I'm wearing. And if this is something you'd like to learn, just stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification. So we're cutting directly on our fabric, so we're just going to take the length of our trouser and then we're going to mark that as our starting line. And after doing that, we're just going to check for our round time measurement plus the allowances which we're to work with. And if you're certain about that, then the next we're just going to -2 to mark our hip line just like so. And after marking our hip line, the next line we're going to mark is our crotch line. So we're just going to do -2 again. If you want the pants to be tight, you come down by 2 inches. If you don't want it to be tight around the crotch line, you come down by 3 inches, which I actually came down by 3 inches. So we're just going to mark just like so again. So the next thing we're going to do on our hip line, we're just going to mark our hip measurement divided by 4 and mark just like so. And then our round thigh measurement, upper thigh measurement divided by 2, our waist divided by 4 inches plus our allowance. And we're taking exact measurement we have on our hip line down to our crotch line. To get your crotch length, you're just going to do your hip measurement divided by 4 divided by 4. Whatever you get is your crotch extension. So we're taking that to the crotch line again. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm adding 1 inches because I'm going to take that from the side, and then I step down by 1 inches and making a slant meeting with the side of the pants. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to use my free hand and make a curve meeting with the crotch length which I drew earlier. And after that, I'm doing -2 to mark my upper nail length. I did this for people who would want their pants to be tight on them. You mark your upper nail length and then you take your round measurement around that upper nail. And I also marked my nail line for people who would want the pants to be tight. This is exactly what you're going to do. And then you take your measurement all the way down. But since I didn't want mine to be tight, I just marked my upper thigh measurement -2 inches, and I took that all the way down. And if you don't want your M line to be as big as mine, you can as well use 14 to 13 inches. And after doing all of that, we're done with drafting of the front part of the pant, and we're just going to cut out just like so. After cutting our front pants, the next thing we're going to do is to fold our fabric into two again and place the front pant on it just like so, because for the back is basically tracing. I came up by 1.5 inches because of the butt, and then I came out again by 1.5 inches just like so around the crotch line. Then around the thigh length I came out by 2 inches just like so, and I took it down. And basically that just everything for drafting of the back pant. So we're just going to cut out just like so. Now the allowance that I added, or that I kept at the end here, which I am cutting out, if you don't want to add these marks which I did in front, which is the 1.5 and 2 inches, just leave 2 inches by the side, which is this part I'm cutting out, and it still works perfectly fine just like so. Now for our pockets, we're just going to fold our fabrics into 4 like this. We're working with a pocket depth of 10 inches. We're working with a pocket width of 7, 6, 8 inches, whichever that you want is fine. And we're working with a pocket length of 7 inches, which is what I am marking here. This 7 inches is the part which you're going to attach to the pants. So you're just going to make a curve, and then you cut hand out. Now if this is a bit difficult for you, you can just place your hand just like as I placed just like so, and take your exact hand measurement. That's why you see I made some curves. So we're just going to cut this out just like so, and we're done with the 4 sides of the. So you're still just going to cut it round, so you just give it refinement and then notch the length of the pocket. So now for the blouse, we're just folding our fabric basically into 4, because I'm cutting both the back and the front together. So that's why we're just going to fold into four just like so and pin down. Then we're just going to ascertain the length of our top. So now for this top, because of the drawstring, it's always advisable for the top to be a bit long. So when you drag your string, like it won't be very short, except you want it to be short. That's why you can see I'm just doing one or two measurements on my body. And then you're just going to check your bust measurement plus your allowances which you're going to work with. And when you have exactly what you want, you're just going to cut out the excesses just like so. And after doing that, the next thing we're going to do is to take our shoulder measurement divided by 2, our neck measurement plus our neck depth. For the front, I worked with 3 by 3, and for the back I worked with 3 by 1.5 or 1 inches, whichever that works for you. So we're just going to take that measurement just like so, and then we're just going to mark and give a small curve so it will not be square. We're slanting our shoulder and then coming down by our armhole. If you don't know how to get your armhole, just take your bust measurement and you come up by 2 inches. But for this particular top, I'll advise you come up by 2.5 inches, and you make a square just like so and take your armhole curve, and basically you're done. Please take your body measurement because I forgot to do that. And when you're cutting your neck first, you're going to cut your back neck first before cutting the front, because the back and the front, they are not the same. So after doing that, I'm just going to open the sides just like so. And after opening the sides, I'm going to take out the back from the front, so I'll be able to cut the front to get to the 3 inches depth which we marked earlier. Please don't cut your front and your back together, please, else the back will be as wide as the front. It will make you to start wasting another material again. So this is when we're going to cut the front out just like so. After doing that, the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to, because this top does not have a zipper, so we're just going to create an opening at the back so we can have a button, no, not a buttonhole. Remember the top has like a band at the neck, like a bishop neck band at the neck, so we're creating this opening. And now for the balloon sleeve, we're doing nothing serious. We're making just as we folded for the top, and then we're just going to make sure that it will be equal to our round arm measurement. And we'll still have some excesses in which we can make some pleating around. So I'm just marking a straight line. I came down by 5 inches, and then I'm making a curve meeting with it so it can fit perfectly on my armhole. So you take your hand length just like so, but please add extra 2 inches, so by the time you add your elastic, it will be exactly where you want it to be on your wrist. So I'm checking at this point if it will be okay with my armhole, and it was. You're dividing the sides because it is into two, and then we're done. So for our trouser, the next we're going to do is to close the crotch length just like so, both for the back and the front. And after doing that, we're stepping down by 1 inches because we want to fix our pocket, and then we're coming down by 7 inches. You remember, for the pocket length, I'm creating a notch, so I'm going to know where it's going to stop. And then after marking that, we're now going to bring our pockets which we cut earlier, and then place right side facing each other, and then you pin. That is for one side. You pin again. Remember, we cut out 4 pieces. That's for the 4 sides, which is for the back and the front as well. So you're just going to stitch just like so. And then for the back as well, you're just going to open on the side. If you see the back of my pants, it has an opening. That's because I want to place a zipper at the back. Remember, we added 2 inches, so it's perfectly okay. And then we're just going to pin just like so, and then we put the front and the back band together. You can see how it is. This pocket is actually easy to do, and then you're just going to stitch round just like so. take your waist measurement, and then you follow the pant line and you add your waistband, and basically that's just everything for sewing the pants. Like, it's easy with the pocket, and then you close the crotch parts or the down parts just like so, and and we're done with the pants. So now this is our bands which we'll be working on. I've gone ahead to pipe the back neck, and then I'm just going to place the front on it just like so. I've already made a band for the drawstring, a bias line for the drawstring, and also like a 2.5 inches band for the neck. So we're joining our shoulders together. After joining our shoulders together, the next thing we're going to do is to join our sleeve. So I'm just pinning down to show you this is our sleeve. I've added the elastic band to it. So after joining our shoulders together, we're just going to join our sleeve. Now that we've joined our sleeve, this is our neck band. I didn't do anything special. I just folded 5 inches together, excuse me, inches together, and then sew it together and just pin around. I didn't take any measurements, depending on how long you want it to be. So I just did that, like a waistband, or let's say like a waist belt or something, and then I'm just pinning it around the neck. That was how I got this. So we're just going to pin around. After you've gotten edge to edge, you're just going to sew just like so, and we're done. So now for the side string, if you want your elastic, your strings to appear in front, you're not going to make these lines which I made at the back. I actually made mine at the back because I don't want it to appear in front. But to be honest, appearing in front is way finer. So after your body measurement, you make about extra 2 lines again for us to pass our drawstrings. So like I said, if you want to do it the normal way, don't make these lines at the back of your top. Turn the top to the front side, and then you make your lines. But I actually wanted mine to be at the back. So you're just going to look for something in which you can pass your drawstrings, your lines. After taking your body measurement, you're just going to run extra 2 lines again. It will now be like exactly, it won't, like if you want your string to get to your armhole or wherever you want it to get to, that's where you are going to make your lines to. So you can see me trying to pass them. So whichever way you want to pass them, it's possible you can still make your lines where you have your bias strip on it. So I'm trying to pass the line, and I have about some lines, not allowing it to pass. So if you have lines like that, you can as well open and then pass, then stitch those lines again, so it will be easier for you to pass your strings. That's why I'm showing you how it is. So after doing that, we're just going to try and pass our strings. I didn't make mine to be very very long, so you can see how it is. I have made the first line, and I'm just going to take it back to the second line. You can use a broom to do this if your bias strip is really not as thick as mine. So we're just going to pass to the second line again, and then bust out just like so. And after you've done that, you can see how it is. Those threads which I actually removed or I loosed, you're just going to drag your string upward just like so, and then you make a stitch. Like the stitches which you have actually loosed, you just make a stitch, extending it to how you want it to be. Like I said, if you don't want your strings to be inside, you can make this your lines outside. If you want them to be outside, you make it outside. Inside, you make it inside. So this is what it looks like after I was done. So we're just going to fold and cut our bias strip to the length that we want, whichever way, and basically we are done with this tutorial. So thank you guys for staying tuned to the end of this tutorial. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification, and I'll see you in my next video.